Hello, my friend. Welcome back to What's Up in Makeup. It is good to be back. If you did not notice, which hopefully maybe you did, I did take the last 2 weeks off of What's Up in Makeup because I was out of town, but I am back. But what happened because I went out of town for 2 weeks is that this news show is packed with so many things that happened over the past couple of weeks. So packed, in fact, that I can't do it all in one show. This segment that you're watching is the top news segment of this show. I will be putting up the product report early next week, hopefully Monday or Tuesday. But today in top news, we have lots of things happening, starting with Morphe potentially filing for bankruptcy. It's an option that they're looking at, which I never thought I would say in a million years, but we're going to go into all the details. We also have a new celebrity skincare brand that's making a lot of people roll their eyes. It's giving Brad Pitt vibes, but we're going to talk about that as well. And then we'll talk about Ulta Beauty and how they stood up for trans rights and the backlash they received because of it. It was a lot. Hang tight. We are getting into that right now. All right, so this is how the show is going to work. Like I said in the intro, this is just going to be top news, product report, and the rest of the show is going to be coming later. So let's go ahead and jump into the first story, which is Morphe potentially looking at filing for bankruptcy. Before we talk about current news, let us rewind to 2016. Your beauty feed is filled with Tati Westbrook and Nikki tutorials and Manny MUA and Laura Lee. And as you're watching all of these beauty videos, you notice there is one particular brand, especially from Ms. Jaclyn Hill, that you hear about all the time, and it is Morphe. Side note, this was before James Charles jumped on the Morphe train because that was the year he became CoverGirl's first male cover boy, so he wasn't a big, huge influencer yet, but he was gonna be. And what we did not know yet is that even though Morphe was big back then, they were about to hit their stride because the Jaclyn Hill white palette that was huge launched in 2017, the James Charles palette launched in 2018, but Morphe knew something was going on with this brand, and I have a feeling that's why they started Forma Brands. If you are not familiar with the name Forma Brands, they are owned by Morphe, and they are a parent company. So back in 2020, they officially launched this concept that they started in 2016. And what they did was they put Morphe underneath the Forma Brands umbrella. They also took in Jaclyn Cosmetics that they had helped develop. Jaclyn Cosmetics had already had their big lipstick debacle, but they had also launched their highlighters, which was a pretty seamless launch. So they took on Jaclyn Cosmetics. They also purchased Lipstick Queen and a hair care brand called Playa. Beyond that, they launched a new makeup line called Morphe 2, backed by Charlie and Dixie D'Amelio of TikTok fame, and a skincare line called Bad Habit. All of these companies were under that Forma Brands umbrella and still are to this day. I don't know about you, but when I was watching beauty videos in 2016 to 2018, even in 2019, I thought Morphe was absolutely untouchable. They were at the top of the game. You saw them freaking everywhere, even though their quality was mediocre at best, in my opinion. Except for, if I'm going to be honest, that original Jaclyn Hill palette, but that's a whole nother story for a whole nother day. I'll put a video down below if you want to know how that one went. Anyway, so in 2020, they launched Forma Brands, right? And as they're launching, the world is starting to fall apart. We have the pandemic that hits us really hard about the same time that Forma Brands launches. People are having trouble with supply chain issues. And beyond that, the faces of Morphe are getting themselves into big trouble. James Charles, who was the face of that huge campaign that made them so much money back in 2018, got in a huge scandal. Again, information down below if you want to know more about that. Another face of the brand, Jeffree Star, a bunch of stuff dug up about him. Beyond the things that were already around about him, they ended up dropping Jeffree Star as a face of the brand. It was a mess for Morphe specifically under that Forma Brands umbrella. What we learned last week is that those specific incidents led to financial decline of Forma Brands as a whole. WWD reported that they are considering filing for Chapter 11 bankruptcy, but they were specific to say that their source said that Morphe is looking at other options as well. For perspective, in 2019, Morphe was said to be doing $500 million in net sales, and now they're looking at filing for Chapter 11 bankruptcy. That is a huge drop just for 3 years later. But in a statement, they did say that they hope to strengthen the company financially so that they can focus on future opportunities. I would love to know what you think about the way things have gone from Morphe's story. I'm surprised, but also not surprised. I really thought that millennials and Gen Z would continue to lift up the brand enough for them to do very well, but it looks like it's not really working out that way. I am definitely going to be following the story, and I will give you any updates that I see, so make sure you're subscribed so that you don't miss it. Second story, new skincare brand. Never thought I would say that Jordan Catalano was coming out with a skincare line. I am sure Jared Leto would not be happy that this is my sole reference to who he is. I know he has done so much. He's like the front man for a band, and he does so much. He's acted, but that's what my so-called life, I'm still hurt. I'm still hurt that it was canceled way, way too early. But I digress. Anyway, so Jared Leto started this new skincare line called 29 Palms. It is named after the town that is at the start of Joshua Tree National Park. It is a desert-inspired beauty line. They call the ingredients, quote, resilient. And I wondered what that meant. And the article that I read actually explained it. To him, this means that they are able to withstand environmental offenses similar to cacti in the desert. I would love to know, my sciencey friends that know more about this than I do, are these ingredients resilient? Here are some of the ones in his products: evening primrose, retinol, ceramides, and aloe vera. I do know that all of those are legit ingredients that do really great things for the skin, so I was pretty happy to see he's using research-based ingredients. I don't know if they're resilient, but they're definitely research-based. But this is the thing though, the brand does claim to be free of artificial fragrance, but they do have natural fragrance, so it's fragrance. It's fragranced. And they have a very unique scent that I've never seen in skincare: sage and frankincense. I hope it's not too strong. I really do. There are 11 products in the line, and they are housed in refillable violet glass, aluminum, and post-consumer recycled plastic bottles to, quote, reflect amethyst-colored desert skies at dusk. Now, regarding the glass, apparently it is a special glass. So you got to tell me whether this is legit or not, because this sounds hokey to me, but maybe it's legit. It's called Miron glass, M-I-R-O-N. They say that it is biophotonic, that ensures a well-preserved product without the need to preserve ingredients. I want preservatives. I want preservatives. Please, Jared, give us preservatives. Apparently he's not, though. The other thing is just like Brad Pitt, Jared, I almost did it. Jared said he's not interested in beauty products. He said that in an interview with Vogue, but he did say he's interested in organic self-care. It's very reminiscent of the Brad Pitt line that just launched. Beyond the skincare, he does plan to launch fragrance and home products underneath the same brand. The skin, hair, and body products launch on October 25th, with reported prices ranging from $39 to $97. Pretty traditional prices for a Sephora brand, maybe a little bit higher. I think it's the eye cream that's $97. So yeah, it's another one of those, in my opinion, cash grabby kinds of brands where, of course all brands are cash grabs. That's a brand's job, is to grab cash. When it comes down to it, people know that skincare sells. Skincare is very in right now. It's very trendy. A lot of celebrities are doing it and making a lot of money. And when people with a lot of money see that, they're like, I can do that too. And then they do. So that's what's happening. I am very curious to know whether you're interested in this brand, whether this is something that you might buy. I think I'm probably going to pass. This next story is a bit heavy, and after we talk about it, we are going to take a little break and talk some makeup, and then we'll talk about some more top news stories. But, you know, I almost didn't talk about it because it is so sensitive, but it's really bothering me, and I wanted to talk about it. I want people to be aware of what's happening. And this is the thing, is that we know that there's racism and transphobia and xenophobia all over. It's everywhere. But I think there are some times where at least I realize that there's more people that subscribe to these mindsets than I want to believe that there are. I'm an eternal optimist, and I hate knowing that so many people are this transphobic. I was on Twitter last week, like I do, and I saw Ulta getting a lot of backlash. There was a hashtag boycott Ulta. I'm like, what is happening? You know, that's my job. That's what I do here on YouTube, is I talk about beauty stuff. And when I saw why they were being boycotted, my heart started beating. My heart's even beating now. I'm so upset over it. Ulta published a video podcast, and this is only the second one that they've done, and this one has gathered a lot of attention. It was hosted by a gender fluid hairstylist by the name of David Lopez, and they interviewed trans TikTok influencer Dylan Mulvaney. Hashtag boycott Ulta was trending for 2 days, and the big reason why it was trending is because a lot of people were unhappy with Ulta for publishing this video. They saw it as a support of misogyny. They saw it as two people that were mocking women. They saw it as a general insult to their, quote, base of buyers. The other disgusting thing is they also got another hashtag that was, I don't know if it was trending, but it was very popular in these threads, and it was called hashtag woman face. It is one of the most ridiculous transphobic terms that I have ever heard. It's based on the action of blackface, which was popular after the Civil War to mock black people. And what they're saying is that Dylan and David were mocking women by trying to look like women. And I was so proud of Ulta for their responses. Here are some of the things they said to some of the awful, hideous, disgusting remarks that people were making. They responded with, and while we recognize some conversations we host will challenge perspectives and opinions, we believe constructive dialogue is one important way to move beauty forward. They also said, quote, the intersectionality of gender identity is nuanced, something David and Dylan acknowledge themselves within the episode. Regardless of how someone identifies, they deserve our respect. I'm imagining that the comments were so disgusting that Ulta had to turn off the comments on their YouTube video and also on their Instagram. They do still have comments on the Twitter post, but comments have been turned off on the other platforms. Needless to say, I think that you can tell where I stand on this at this point, which is 100% in support of Ulta. And what I ask of you is, if you feel differently than me, I ask that you please watch the actual podcast, to watch the whole thing and not just listen to what other people are telling you, because it really is a beautifully done podcast. It is not anti-woman at all. There is nothing anti-woman in that podcast. All it is two people discussing their journeys of discovering who they are. That is it. They're trying to figure out what gender means in their own individual lives. And if you just open your mind and really listen. So like there's one part where Dylan talks about her journey and talking about what she had to give up to mourn what she called Boy Dylan, and how her life changed and how hard that was for her. I know there are a lot of strong feelings on this topic, and what I would ask of you is to please be kind in the comment section under this video while you're expressing yourself. I will not tolerate transphobia. I will not tolerate purposeful misgendering. I will not tolerate hate of any kind. So if you would like to continue to be a part of this community, I would appreciate if you would express yourself respectfully. And if you would like to learn more about transgender history, because there is a history, I'm going to put some links down below for you, as well as some other educational links if you would like to learn more about the topic. Let's take a little bit of a break from top news and talk about some of the new releases this week that I happened to get in PR. Just two that I'm going to talk about this week. From Catrice, they released a huge collection of Disney villain stuff. And I am wearing on my eyes today the Maleficent palette. It matched my shirt, so this is the one that I'm wearing. And I will tell you, it performed absolutely beautifully. It's all that's on my eyes today. I'll swatch a few of the shades that I used today, so you can get an idea of what we're dealing with here. Of course, I only swatched the light shades. I don't know why I did that, but you can kind of get the idea. We'll talk about all the details about this collection when I go through the product report in a couple of days, but this is the whole thing. Like, there's so many things. It's all the things. All of the things, so many things. It's a very cute collection. Also on my face today is the Ursula blush. It looks like the booby blushes from Charlotte Tilbury. Do you remember those? And then I'm also wearing the Cruella highlighter palette. I'm using the shade Classy today. Let me just swatch those for you real quick too, so you can see that. The other highlighter palette is just a little bit deeper than this one. They're all quite light, but you can see they do have a little bit of difference in tone. Gerard Cosmetics also just came out with a bunch of lashes, so I am wearing some of them today. This one is in the style Realness. There are all kinds of styles, from very, very bold. These are called What's the Tea, to very, very natural ones. These are called Work Bitch. Let me see if I can get them to focus. Very, very natural. They also have a brand new lash liner glue that I forgot that I got, so I did not use that today. But so far, so good. They went on very easily. They are a black band, so those black bands that are a little bit thicker are sometimes harder to get to stay on. I didn't have any problem with them today, but this is a first impression, so I will keep you posted on those. I did get a bunch of PR while I was gone, so I'll highlight something different for the next What's Up in Makeup video. So now let us get back into our top news, just a bunch of smaller stories that I thought you would want to know about. First off, we have Elon Musk, who is not my favorite person. However, he does make some very interesting choices. And in today's interesting choice, I believe he is laughing at people, but maybe people are laughing along with him as they're spending $100 on a perfume called Burnt Hair. I'm not kidding. The perfume is called Burnt Hair. And it is described as, quote, the essence of repugnant desire. Apparently, according to Twitter, there were 30,000 bottles available, and like I said, they were $100 each, so that calculates to $3 million that people spent on perfume that smells like burnt hair. I mean, I spent $25 on little packets of maybe ketchup, maybe makeup, so I can't really judge people on the fact that they bought this, maybe for fun, maybe for a collector's item, I don't know, but it is one of those people will buy anything situations, I guess. Another thing that was weird in the fragrance world is Hermes. They have decided to launch a fragrance for children. This is what it looks like. It is a fragrance for children. It is called Cabriole, and formulator Christine Nagel says that the scent is inspired by the bond between parent and child and designed to evoke the scent of a child's cheek. The scent is alcohol-free, and it has notes of honeysuckle, sandalwood, and apricot. So if you want your child's cheek to smell like a child's cheek, you can spend $105 on the Hermes website now. Speaking of Catrice, from the PR Purchase Product of the Week segment, they have made a move to help consumers. They are lowering their prices. They are already a lower cost brand, but what they had decided to do was go mostly e-commerce direct to consumer, and that allowed them to cut some costs. So they're passing on that to the consumers. This includes their HD foundation, which is amazing, by the way. They sent that to me in PR a long time ago. It's freaking fabulous. And also their True Skin foundation. Now, don't get too excited because the price drops are only about $1 per product, but still, in this economy, $1 helps. Definitely. This I found interesting. Revolution Beauty's chairman and CEO are temporarily stepping down from the brand. If you did not know, Revolution Beauty is going through an independent audit process because of, quote, accounting issues. They also had their stock suspended back on September 1st because they failed to publish audited results for the financial year that ended on February 28th of 2022. So Adam Minto, which you've probably heard his name before, and also Tom Allsworth are stepping down from their positions, but they are still members of their board. It looks like this is just temporary while they're going through all of the audit, and they'll probably go back to their positions, but I'll watch it and I'll let you know. If you are a TikTok fan who lives in the US, TikTok is about to introduce live shopping on their US platform. This will allow creators and brands to sell goods directly through the app. Now, they already had this going in beta in the UK and also in Asia. They're just now launching it in the US. Do you remember when Miley Cyrus took us to Gucci Town and Roblox and we were like, won't you take me to Gucci Town? But, imagine Miley Cyrus singing it, not me. Well, now Paris Hilton is celebrating Cryptoween in Roblox with Paris World. From now until October 31st, Paris's avatar will make daily appearances in a virtual selfie booth to take pictures with fan avatars. But you may be asking, Jen, why are we talking about this? The reason why we're talking about it is because it's in partnership with Urban Decay. Along with the virtual photo op with Paris's avatar, you'll also be able to browse through 3 Urban Decay product-themed rooms. You can grab exclusive Halloween makeup looks for your avatar and model their look for a virtual runway competition for a chance to be featured on their leaderboard. But just so you know, even though it's called Cryptoween, it has nothing to do with cryptocurrency or NFTs or anything like that. That's just what they called it. I don't know. It's confusing to me too. But it's not a crypto thing. It's just a Roblox game thing. Got a lot of DMs and tweets about this while I was gone. Apparently, Bath & Body Works has launched a new wellness and beauty brand called Moxie. The line includes 33 skin and hair care products along with dietary supplement gummies that claim to help with sleep, digestion, and more. Prices range from $11 to $21. They're available now on their brand website. And then finally, we've talked a lot of US, so let's pop across the pond to the UK. I am so happy for you. Sephora has relaunched in the UK, online only, but they are going to have physical stores eventually. At least that's the plan. I think they're looking at the first physical store happening around spring of 2023. Sephora left the UK back in 2005. They opened only 6 stores in 5 years. So I guess it was a big flop. But 2005 was before beauty YouTube. So it was before the social media boom. Not that beauty YouTube runs the world, because it absolutely doesn't. But I do feel like it brought an influx of new beauty lovers, YouTube, Instagram, and now TikTok, Snapchat, all the things that have come and gone. If you are in the UK and you are shopping on Feel Unique's website, that has now flipped to Sephora. But the reward system that was over at Feel Unique, they are keeping that going. Sephora bought Feel Unique like a year ago or something like that. So all of the perks you were getting on that website, they're supposed to continue through the Sephora website. Feel Unique has 1.3 million active customers, so that gives them a nice advantage getting into the market because there are already established companies in the UK that sell the kinds of things that Sephora sells. So they really do need that leg up. I really do hope Sephora does well in the UK. I think that they will. I think that they're going to be able to make a name for themselves. I think that the biggest thing is going to be, can they stand out from the other offerings that are already available and established that UK customers are used to shopping at? So we'll just have to wait and see. And that, my friend, was top news for What's Up in Makeup this week. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please make sure you give it a thumbs up. It tells YouTube to share it with other people. And if you're looking for the product report, again, it is going to be coming in the next few days. As soon as I can get it up to you, I will get it up to you. I just wanted to make sure I could do it justice and give you all of the goodness that you're used to getting, and I didn't want to shortcut it. But what is normal this week is that we are having our live chat at 10 a.m. Eastern time. Hopefully you can join us. We're going to be talking about makeup and things happening in the industry. I've got a couple of ideas of what I want to talk about. If you can join us, that's great. But if you can't because you've got stuff going on or you just miss it, it's no problem. It's very easy to find on the replay. All you need to do is go over to your subscription feed. If you're subscribed, should be right there for you. Very easy. But if you're not subscribed, you can also find it by going to my channel page, clicking on my videos, and then clicking on the video titled live chat. If you would like to hang out a little longer right now, YouTube should be recommending a couple of videos for you right over here to watch, including one down at the bottom that I picked out specially for you. But if you do need to go, it is no problem at all. Thank you so much for hanging out as long as you did, and mad love to you, and I will see you in a video very, very soon. Bye!